time frame, and you can find it all at Westside Decorating Center. Good morning to you. Welcome on this Thursday morning to the Art Lewis Show. And later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we're going to learn about what's happening up at the Bay Area Y. They have something called a Kobe Day coming up. At 11 o'clock, Hemlock Public Schools will be on focus with us. But for this hour, we're going to talk about a health service in this area that has and is growing by leaps and bounds. It is the Great Lakes Bay Health Centers. And we have a couple of special guests with us this morning. First of all, we say good morning to Jeff Larson. Jeff, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Tell everybody what you do there.
I am our Chief Growth and Development Officer.
Speaking of growth.
Yeah.
And he's very tall. He will not grow anymore.
I get accused of growing a little taller every time, but...
Also with us this morning is Jill Armentrout. And Jill, good morning.
Good morning.
And you do?
I am the Fund Development Coordinator.
Fund.
Fund, not fun. But sometimes fun.
Fun to find the funds.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so I think, before we get into the what's happenings and going ons, let's do a little overview, a little history, and I've done this before, but it's an important topic. The history of Great Lakes Bay Health Centers, how it started, how it got to where it is today, because you become this juggernaut.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So 56 years ago.
1969.
Yeah, started primarily serving migrant populations. We saw that there was a gap. There was a grant that was available to provide care to make sure that the people that provide our food for us were healthy and able to do that. And as time evolved, the recognition that, hey, that's not the only population that has access to care issues. And so really got into how can we better serve our underserved communities that are right here 365.
The name most associated, of course, was Dave Gomez.
Correct.
He was the visionary at the time.
Yes. And the organization at that time was Health Delivery. And so a lot of people have memories of Health Delivery. And in 2016, the name changed.
Right. Yep.
So many people thought, oh, what do you deliver? Thinking that we were a medical supply organization, and no, delivering great care is what we did. And so appropriate name, but now embracing that regionality that is going on, and really is more reflective of our service area. And so
but back then too, if I remember right, Dave had a couple of locations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
how many do you have now?
We don't print it because it could change any given day. Because technically a mobile vehicle counts as a location, and yesterday in an event at Jane Street, we were really able to show off our new mobile vision unit, which is going to be hitting the road and going to schools with our mobile dental units this fall.
But you have quite a few bricks and mortars.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, so I think 33 is
with the mobile.
With
count. The mobile,
yeah,
and that's inside of schools because we're inside of
right.
High schools, and we have some services inside middle schools and elementary. But Saginaw United and Bay City Central High School. And then we have locations in the Thumb and Imlay City, Bad Axe, Owasso, and then of course our most heavy in Saginaw and Bay counties.
So what differentiates Great Lakes Bay Health Centers from any other health provider?
Really the target population. We are, as a federally qualified health center, our focus population is underserved, underinsured, and uninsured populations. So Medicaid first and foremost, a lot of uninsured, Medicare, and we actually we lose money on every patient we see, but we lose way less money on Medicaid patients. Like that's our reimbursement model, is that we are designed to care for the patients that are really not super advantageous for other providers to care for.
So I have to ask, Jill, you'll have to answer this.
Okay.
If you lose money on every patient, how are you funded?
Well, you're right.
At some point in time, it doesn't matter.
We have 40, 50 different grants. We do get some funding from the federal government. It's about 15% of our budget. In addition to that, like I said, with different programming grants that we have, when we're going to be buying a new bus, we get local foundation support. When we're building a new building, like we are in Bay City, we have a capital campaign. So there isn't extra money to build and purchase all these things. So that's where things come in. But we are a nonprofit, and we do have 2 fundraising events as well to support things like the transportation for patients, which is not fully reimbursed. Community health workers.
You don't do anything that's fully reimbursed, do you?
Well, no, we don't. And you're right. It's
really
kind of just
think about it.
Yeah, it's degrees of that. You're absolutely right. Yeah, and then some things aren't reimbursed at all, or we have to get. We have our new doula program, which has grant funding, but then how do we continue to sustain that? Medicaid is now paying for doulas, which are birth coaches. We have 7 on staff, but it's always a challenge.
I'm happy to hear that, because our infant mortality rate was atrocious.
Yeah. And the maternal mortality is also...
It's not good either.
Right, correct. And so we are really working to remove the needle on that, because the doulas can be with women during their pregnancy, during the birth, and then for a year after, because they're also community health workers.
Which ensures the youngsters are going to get the medical attention they need.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's,
Our doulas have been involved in 279 births so far since they started, and the outcomes have. Our CEO, Dr. Coughlin, talks about how much of her career she spent trying to move that needle and what wasn't working, and is very excited about the health outcomes with the doulas.
We're seeing a positive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fewer C-sections, just better relationships. It's in the father and mother are, involved, and they have a father's group. They have, they're just doing a lot of things. Yeah.
And, what's interesting about that is it's not the first thing that would come to mind when you think Great Lakes Bay Health Centers. All right, I go there for my physical and do whatever,
Sure.
Yeah, well, it's medical, dental, behavioral health, OBGYN, vision, pharmacy, transportation, nutrition, physical therapy. What else? What are we forgetting?
So you use all the
About
other
20 other
use all the medical use all the other medical services for surgery and the major stuff.
Well, we don't do anything inpatient.
Right, that's what I mean.
Right. We get, but we take care of care management nurses. So if somebody, we have stories about people who need a transplant, they need open heart surgery, but who's going to coordinate that care for you? Who's going to help support you through that? And that's what our nurses and our doctors do. So a lot of people really definitely say, I get to do a lot of patient stories. I used to be a reporter for Saginaw News, and I still get to do that with our patients, because they want to talk about how their lives are changed. And they say, well, this doctor saved my life. You hear that a lot.
So if your primary focus is on those underserved and in need, Medicaid and all of that, does that preclude someone with health insurance and
Absolutely not.
Decent job and everything from coming from you?
Sure.
Coming to you?
About 20% of our patients have private insurance, and just like the quality of care, right? So we will accept anyone. So regardless of your insurance situation, what insurance you have, if you even have it, and if you are more comfortable with the type of care that we provide, then 100% our doors are open for you. We prefer, this is a tricky thing to say, but I would prefer if our slots were filled up with people that didn't have other options,
Right, but that's what you're there for.
100%.
That's your prime purpose.
And it can be difficult for, the fact is that we have a shortage of primary care in all we need more physicians. So the fact is that people who are trying to get into doctors right now, anywhere may have a hard time.
You stole mine.
You can come with them.
You can.
Actually, I had actually, it was funny because when he announced that he was leaving the practice, they wouldn't tell you where he was going. So I had no idea, and I couldn't get a hold of him. So I had to go find another doctor. Then I found out where he, where he is.
Which just says, so many people when they think of a health center or a clinic, they think free clinic, like this basement rat infested place. And when people come to our sites, I think they're often surprised that it's a doctor's office. It's exactly what you would expect.
Yeah.
And that's why we're
it
building.
Really is quality care.
That's why we're building new buildings, so our patients have
You built a
beautiful.
new one on Court Street,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you're building one in Bay City now.
Yeah, at Uptown, and that will be
It's
very
in Uptown.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah,
Yeah.
fancy. But it's
Yeah, I was going to say now there's a contradiction in terms as to what you're after in terms of the patient.
But if you look at where a lot of the patients are, we have a heat map around that location. They are there.
Oh, yeah.
Think about
I know that.
Bradley House. We're basically Central High School. I mean, there's a lot of people, and it's actually a really good location.
Oh, it's a great location,
Yeah.
but it's just a contradiction in terms of this
Yeah.
fancy new development, you know,
Right.
in Bay City.
But everybody deserves, a beautiful place to
Sure.
come. And
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a break and come back and talk more about Great Lakes Base Health Centers and some of the things coming up there, maybe a little fundraising and all of that good stuff. All ahead on the Art Lewis Show. Let me take a moment to talk about Quick Lane Freeland, which is attached to McDonald Ford. Now, Quick Lane Freeland is your automotive service center where they take care of all of your routine maintenance. They're also concerned about allergies, and as you know, this has been a terrible season for allergies. And they have a product to keep you healthy in your car. It's called FrigiFresh. And here's John from Quick Lane to tell you all about it.
FrigiFresh. Hi.
The metal's exterior walls will be up very soon, and that can be frustrating for people because once they see the exterior look like, oh yeah, that should be open, it's probably about another year out. And so what this facility will do it will take in our current 3 facilities in Bay County, but expand on what we're able to do with each one of them. We've got restrictions for spatial restrictions and waiting lists in every single facility there. So our OBGYN practice will move and have 4 more exam rooms. Our primary care and dental will move, and they will more than double in size.
So this is a consolidation of all your Bay County efforts.
Yeah. So everything will be under one roof. We'll add vision services for the first time in Bay County, and everything is going to be bigger. We care for about 18,000 people in Bay County sites right now. We're going to more than double that. We'll have a capacity to see another 20,000.
So is this building, not having seen it, is it along the lines of what you did on Court Street?
Times 2.
4 stories.
Yes, yeah. Court Street is 30,000 square feet. This is 67,000.
Wow.
Huge. Yeah.
But of course, Court Street is just one of many in this region where that one's
Indeed.
going to be the standalone, so to speak.
Correct. Correct.
All right, Jill, how'd you pay for it? And how are you paying for it?
That's right. That's what we're working on. We do have a capital campaign. So this building costs about $30 million. And so we are working to raise 10% of that, so $3 million.
No, wait a minute. Where's the other 27 come from?
Well, that's right. So that will be we'll be financing that. I know Jeff can even speak a little more details on the dollars there, but for the most part, for us to take on this project, we need to be able to raise some funds, and of course, other parts of it'll be, like I said, finance will be our responsibility and those things too. Do you want to have more detail on that, Jeff?
Are there bricks and mortar grants?
That's what we're working on too.
Yeah, it depends. Very, very few grants really seem to want to pay for capital anymore.
A lot of the local foundations, though. So we do have the Nicholas Family Foundation in Bay County. They've been very supportive of us, and they've also already pledged funds towards this. We have some other dollars already coming in, of course, but we're still working on that. But we are going to be making. We write grants as well as talk to donors. We started building our donor base less than 10 years ago, so it's still kind of new. But we've had grants and local foundation support over the years, and that's how we built our Warren Dental Center. So that's all coming together. But in addition to that, we still, we are working right now to develop more donors. We'll have naming rights. We want to put some Bay County names on this building. We'll have a donor wall. We really want to make the ownership of this building be Bay County. And we know that they do support what we do and they want to help. And so we just need to find the right people.
If someone wants to donate, what do they need to do?
they can contact us if they go to our website. We have a donor page. We have a specific landing page for this project as well. So I think we'll probably continue to share that out. Really, my information is on our donate page, and they can get a hold of me. And I believe we have a link on there to this project too, or we will if we don't right now.
It's interesting something you said, Jeff, that the foundations don't want to pay for capital.
Right.
Yeah. And I can remember the day when they didn't want to pay for anything but the bricks and mortar. They wouldn't give you operational money,
Right.
but
right.
they'd give you capital money.
Yeah, and so it's not exclusively that way, but more and more we're seeing this shift for where donors want to pay for programs. And the good news is we have those too, right? So we're always working to understand what the donor really wants to fund and make that a thing that they can do.
And what happens inside the building is what they're giving to.
Correct.
I mean, it's not. It is the building. We need the we need the space. But I mean, what happens inside the building is what they are
That's why
giving
you're
to.
building the
Of course, yeah. So we have to continue to tell those stories, and why you have 1,000 people. 1,000 people on the waiting? Not that many. We have a large waiting list for dental, so people can come in. They come in and they can't even smile because they have they're embarrassed with their teeth. They have pain, and then we can help take care of them. But right now we can't get them all into our Bayside location, so the current one, and we just need more space for that because there are people out there in pain and they don't have a dentist and they need us.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, and continue our conversation with our guests from the Great Lakes Bay Health Centers. More ahead here on the Art Lewis Show.
It's natural to have questions.
Of next year we're hoping is very realistic. We'll be in a space. The final designs, it would be too soon to disclose too much, but we, alongside the Saginaw County Health Department, will be in the same facility, and that is probably the same timeline that you'll see some of the housing and mixed-use spaces go up. But then SVSU is going to have a site there. CMU, of course, is the flagship that will be there. But a really, really exciting time, and we're excited to be a part of it.
So, will this building have a specialty, or is it going to be a consolidation similar to Bay?
So we are going to bring primary care into it, and because that's our bread and butter, that type of preventative care. But the aim of it is absolutely to specialize on behavioral health and behavioral health options that don't currently exist.
So, when we talk about behavioral health, if you talk to, for example, Judge McGraw, he will tell you there are just not enough beds anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
How do you fix it?
Well, beds are tough, but we looked at, could we be one of the solutions for that? And unfortunately, there is not for us a reimbursement model. Yes, we've already said we lose money all the time, but
what's new there?
Right, but there is not a way, even in that type of understanding, that we can sustain it. We've looked at, and we're currently discussing some options that include intensive outpatient. So there's not an overnight bed per se, but it's a come back every single morning for a certain period of time. We've looked at that. No official decisions yet, but it's pieces like that. It's a little outside of the box thinking that's going to relieve the pressure on needing those beds. But I wish I knew, if we knew how to fix it, hopefully it would already be well underway.
Yeah.
But we need to train the counselors to the social workers, and that will be part of this space because we'll be able to have social work students working with us in the universities and have them seeing patients under the
Like an internship.
I mean, that's how they already are trained now. But you need space to do that, and we need more counselors. We want to have our behavioral health fully integrated into the physical health care, and we don't have enough people to do it yet.
So let me ask, with all of the services you provide, are there enough physicians? Are there enough counselors? Are there enough nurses? Are there enough staff?
If our universities keep growing them,
That's one of the more exciting parts of the Medical Diamond is increasing the capacity to homegrown that talent.
Obviously.
Yes, everywhere, and honestly, every industry will tell you that staffing is one of their top 5 challenges.
But if we not look ahead, if we look at today, do you have enough physicians?
No.
We're in a really interesting position right now because our physician recruitment efforts currently are actually beyond what we have the space for. So we have people that want to come work for us, but it would be inefficient, right? You typically for a physician, you want one physician for every 3 exam rooms, right? And right now in our recruiting efforts, we're hearing, hey, I've got people that are ready to come, and we don't have the space for them, which is why building is so important. We do believe that there will be a ramp-up period, but we wouldn't build the space if we didn't feel confident we could fill it.
Right.
Without getting into the weeds on it, a family practitioner in private practice or working for another practice wants to come to Great Lakes Bay Health Centers. Are your wages competitive?
We are very proud of our wages. If you're in private practice, you can most likely earn more. And yet we have people that come to us from private practice because they want to just practice medicine. They don't want to be a business owner. They don't want to deal with all of those parts. So
and then we have a whole team around them. So we have community health workers, we have care management nurses, we have
like
transportation.
Group practice. That's why people go into group practice, so they don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And we have nurse practitioners and physician assistants, of course. So it's not exclusively physicians. And we do, we have 2 OB doctors that joined us in Bay County. And we are actually currently the only provider of OB services in Bay County.
Wow.
Yeah.
And can a patient choose their doctor?
They can choose their location.
I hear a hesitation.
They can choose their location, and anyone can come from anywhere in the state, really, and use our services.
Yeah, I understand that. But, I like to have a relationship
absolutely
with my doctor.
And
you will have a relationship.
And we 100% do everything we can to establish and preserve that, depending on availability and because we have so much more population than we can currently see, there may be times where scheduling an appointment, you're presented with an option. You can see your physician, but it might be
down the road.
Right. So would you rather get in right away and see somebody else? But.
All right, we're going to take one more break and come back with our guests as we talk about the Great Lakes Bay Health Centers.
Service. It's hard to find.
It's not much.
Well, it isn't, but I mean, that's the thing. A lot of what we're doing now, of course, is building relationships with people. Like I said, we have our Giving Hope Society where we have sustaining givers there. We're continuing to build our donor base. I don't know that everyone even really knows that we're a nonprofit to some degree or knows about us in that way. So that's about getting the word out. The luncheons do help that too.
Think about this. We've been sitting here since right after 9 o'clock, and that's the first time nonprofit came up.
That's right. We said fund development, but
fund development can be a lot of things.
I know we're a 501c3. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, before I started at the company less than 10 years ago, we didn't do any donor development except for grants. So we have work to do. We definitely have work to do. And
when was the transition to Great Lakes Health Centers?
I think about 2016. Is that what we said?
It hasn't been all that long, has it?
Right.
Really?
With the name change, right, yep. And then just been a lot of growth since I've been,
a lot of
20,
growth.
15 years, yeah, absolutely, yep. Because we moved into the Thumb because we're in Bad Axe, Imlay City, and Owasso, which is south. We moved in there, and that all happened around the same time. And we only go into new locations when there's a need, and the communities really ask us to do that. So when there's a need for dental, like in Bad Axe, there was we got thousands, hundreds of calls the first day we opened dental up there. We work very closely with the hospitals and the health departments, and the communities ask us to come in. So we do have we have a location in Midland County now, which is inside of their community mental health services. So we have a health clinic inside there to serve those patients.
All right, let's look into the Larson crystal ball. What does Great Lakes Bay Health look like 10 years from now?
10 years from now, so we're the largest in the state. That's not anything we ever set out to do, right? Our goal is to make sure that everyone has access to care. And if that comes by way of us, great. If it comes by way of someone else, great. But I look and I see that right now, the most vulnerable population, there are 3 times as many people not receiving care from us than there are that are receiving care. And so, can we triple in size in 10 years? No. But can we double in size?
You're the biggest in the state.
We are. Yeah.
But not the only in the state.
No, we're one of over 40 organizations in the state that.
Do I hear the word consolidation somewhere down the road?
It's possible. There are very serious threats to healthcare that are taking place, and we happen to be in a position where we can withstand some of those. We've got to get creative and innovative. We stretch the federal dollar really far, but I know that there are other health centers that are having to close doors and having to reduce access.
That's why I asked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jill, what's the website?
Yes, it is GreatLakesBayHealthCenters.org.
And you can find a donate page.
Yes, you can, absolutely. And my contact information is on there, too. And we'll have a link to the Bay City project.
Well, both of you, thanks for spending time with us this
Thanks,
morning.
Art.
We'll have to do this again and keep track of it.
100%.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. We'll take our last break, come back, close out, tell you what's ahead next hour.
Still undecided about which...
Ken Robbins, weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
And that'll do it for this hour. Coming up, we're going to talk to someone from the Bay Area Y about Kobe Day and more. And all of that is ahead after the news from CBS. Michael Percher with the local report. And then we will be back.
Broadcasting from the